The following is a presentation of Retro Sports Network, home of the champions of the past, present, and or future. A sense of hit the right button. A sense of urgency hangs over Atlanta as July turns into August. Does it have anything to do with the Falcons? Well, the Braves hope not. The Los Angeles Dodgers are in town, and Friday night they played too. Atlanta needs everything they can get. What did they do? Well, in Game 1, the Dodgers took a 3-0 lead in the first. Kenny Landreau scored on a wild pitch by Rick Mahler. Then Pedro Guerrero singled home Dusty Baker to make it 2-0. Ron Say brought him home on a single. 3-0 Dodgers from the start, but then the Braves chipped away in Game 1. Dale Murphy hit a solo shot in the first to make it 3-1. Old Mother Glenn Hubbard singled home Rafael Ramirez in the third to make it 3-2. And then Rick Mahler, who says pitchers can't hit, had a 2-run single in the fourth to make it 4-3 Atlanta. And in the seventh, the Braves stepped on the throat. Another RBI single by Glenn Hubbard to make it 5-3. And then Dale Murphy's 2-run blast, his 25th of the year to dead center, made it 7-3. When Bruce Benedict grounded out and reached on an air, Atlanta had won the first one 8-3. They beat Jerry Royce. Rick Miller gets the win. That's his 10th win, but we played too. And in the nightcap at Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium, it was Kenny Landreau on the Dodgers, drawing first blood again in the first. He hit a solo shot, his 4th of the year, to make it 1-0 LA. Then the Braves tied it back up. Chris Chambliss with a bases-loaded walk to make it 1-1. In the third, the Dodgers fought back. Pedro Guerrero had an RBI single, 2-1. But Bob Horner's solo shot in the third tied it at 2. Horner has 25 home runs on the year. Then the Dodgers win ahead in the sixth to hope to stay. Bill Russell walked with the bases loaded to score Pedro Guerrero to give the Dodgers the lead. Then Mike Scioscia walked home a run, scoring Ron Say to make it 4-2. Then Bob Welch hit a sac fly to make it 5-2. Welch got into trouble in the sixth. A wild pitch scored Bob Horner to make it 5-3. And the Braves tried to rally in the ninth, including a Rafael Ramirez fielder's choice. But the Dodgers split this doubleheader 5-4. Tom Niedenfuer got the save. Bob Welch got the win. And Joe Cowley, who couldn't find the strike zone, takes the loss. So on Retro Sports Network, the lead is 11.5 games. The Braves are all out of margin for error. And on this last day of July, these two teams meet from Atlanta Fulton County Stadium on Major League Baseball 1982 lunch replay. From Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, it is Fernando Valenzuela for the Dodgers against Pascual Perez. I guess he found the right exit after all. Right here on Retro Sports Network.
Play ball!
Why, hi there, everybody. I'm Ron Zuckett, and if the Atlanta Braves are going to make a comeback of comebacks, they need to win this game. They need to win Sunday. They need to get hot. They're playing really well. This is game 101 for them, so they have 62 chances to cut this 11.5 game lead down into a bite-sized thing. We close out July. Today is July 31st, 1982. The Dodgers have the best record in baseball, and they send out the hottest pitcher from 1981 in Fernando Valenzuela. The Dodgers are 67-36. The Braves need to win. They are out of time. They are well past where the 1978 Yankees were at this point, who made the 14.5 game lead from the middle of July. Time is of the essence. There's 8 weeks left of this season, and the Braves need, as I said, they need a miracle and wrapped around a collapse of Bostonian proportions. And so as we go to the field, how you doing, Dave Gardner? Though the Mets aren't playing. So let's get right to it here. The standings in the National League. The Dodgers are playing .650 ball. They've won 7 of 10. They split with Atlanta last night. They are 34-21 on the road, and that's why the National League West is all pretty much over except for the crying. The Braves have won 6 of 10. They're not playing bad baseball. 540, it's going to give them about 90 wins, but I don't think it's going to be enough. They play really well here, but they're 20-27 on the road. They are 17-17 in one-run games and 4-6 in extra innings. The rest of the standings, the Expos wake up on this last day of July with a 7-game lead. Yeah, they've lost 6 out of their last 10, but the Phillies have lost 3 straight. Now, Mike Schmidt, who was hitting .365 last week, is down to .350. His Triple Crown now in peril. And St. Louis is 10 back, nipping at the Phillies' heels. In the American League, well, Baltimore has taken over Detroit, at least in the loss column, by 2. They've won 2 straight and have a 1-game lead over the Tigers. You'll see the Tigers and Blue Jays tomorrow at noon. We won't talk about the Red Sox or the Yankees. In the West, California 62-39. They've won 8 of 10, and they have a 3-game lead over Kansas City. But here it is raining a bit, 14 degrees, 14-mile-an-hour winds. Out to right center here at the Chop Shop at 84 degrees. As Pascual Perez makes his first start of the 1982 season. In fact, it's his first game of the 1982 season. On the real year, he went 4-4 with a 3.06 ERA. 79 in the third innings, 85 hits. He allowed 4 home runs, 17 walks, and 29 strikeouts. Uh-oh. And so how you doing, Dale and Todd B? Pascual Perez was still pitching in 1993? Okay. So here's the lineup you'll face. Steve Sax will lead it off for the Dodgers and play second. Kenny Landreau will bat second and play center. Dusty Baker, the left fielder, will hit third. Pedro Guerrero, the right fielder, cleans up. Ron Say, the Penguin, will play third and bat fifth. Steve Garvey, the first baseman, bats sixth. It's Mike Scioscia behind the plate. He'll bat seventh. Mark Belanger, not Bill Russell, gets the start at short. And Fernando Valenzuela tosses sombrero in the air. Fernando can pretty much almost salt this away with a win today. That's how narrow the Braves' margin of error is. So defensively for Atlanta, Rufiano Linares is a 4-3 in left. Dale Murphy is their best defender range-wise. He's a 10 and a 4 in center. Claudel Washington a 4 and 8 in the right. So Washington has the best arm. Murphy has the best range. Bob Horner's at third, and he's kind of hiding behind the stats. Rafael Ramirez, the all-star, a 9 at short. Glenn Hubbard an 8 at second. Chris Chambliss a 7 at first. And Bruce Benedict an 8 and a 4 behind the plate. Steve Sax has been on a year-long slump at .229. 3 homers and 33 RBI. It's raining, it's hot, it's sticky, it's Atlanta in July. Pascual Perez delivers, and Sax hits this one into left center field for a base hit. So no bunt. By the way, Horner is a 3 at third. And that brings up Kenny Landreau at .259, 4 homers and 26 RBI. Throw to first, Sax is back. Landreau squared the bunt. So the Braves play for it. Pitch to Landreau. There goes Sax to second. And, it's a balk. Perez kind of got all discombobulated, and Sax will take second on the balk. And we still haven't had a pitch in this at-bat. That's right. Perez didn't get stuck in traffic. Horner couldn't hide behind anything. Pitch to Landreau, and there's a ground ball to Ramirez over to Hubbard. And do they have Sax caught in a rundown, I think? Yep, they do. A 2-hopper to Ramirez, and Sax jumped early. And so he flipped it to Hubbard. Hubbard got the tag. So Sax is out on the 6-4 rundown. How about that one? And so Landro's safe at first for Dusty Baker at 276. 12 homers and 63 RBI. We can assure you that Dusty Baker is not going to bunt. Throw to first, Landro's is out. So Perez picked Landro off of first. So Chambliss caught Landro napping, and there's 2 out for Baker. So Atlanta's working out of it. Right now, nobody on. Dodgers have had 2 base runners, and they've lost them both. Pitch to Baker is a fly ball to left. Linares goes over in the corner, and someone from Stone Mountain has a souvenir. So it's 2-2 from Pascual Perez, and this is not going to be a complete game effort. He can only go 95 pitches around that. His delivery, and there's a ground ball right side base hit. Washington picks it up. So every Dodger has reached, but 2 were thrown out on the bases. Here's Pedro Guerrero at 302, 28 homers and 78 RBI. Perez in the light rain delivers. Guerrero and hits that one into right field. Washington on a hard hop. Baker goes to third. So Perez hasn't retired anybody the old-fashioned way. It's all been on Dodger blunders. Here's Ron Cey at 222, 14 homers and 54 RBI. Perez delivers. Ball 4. He still hasn't retired anybody with a traditional out. Here's Garvey. Steve is at 271. 11 homers and 42 RBI. I wonder if this is his... How you doing, Al? I wonder if this is his Major League debut. And Weaver's perm had nothing on Horner's. Yeah, Horner had some bad hair. Mark Forsberg, how you doing? Along with Al Red Sox fan. Perez delivers. Bases loaded. Fly ball to left center. Murphy goes back and makes a catch to retire the side. Perez got himself into trouble. The Dodgers got him out of trouble. No runs, 3 hits, no errors. Half an inning in the books here. And Atlanta, the Dodgers, nothing. Here come the Braves. Fernando Valenzuela is looking for win number 17 on the 1982 season. This is start number 24 for the 1981 Cy Young Award winner. He is 16-5 on the year with a 2.31 ERA. His last 3 starts, he has gone the distance. And why not? He's given up 2 earned runs over his last 27 innings. Against the Giants on the 26th, he went through a 1-hitter. Walked 1 and struck out 10. That is his 4th shutout of the year. He also shut out San Diego, Chicago, and Chicago. His last start against the Braves, 7 innings, 10 hits on June 23rd, where he struck out 5. So overall, 187 innings, 149 hits, 4 home runs, 54 total runs, 48 earned. He has walked 45 and struck out 150. Claudell Washington leads it off for Atlanta. Glenn Hubbard will bat second. Dale Murphy will, of course, the center fielder, will bat third. Bob the Bad Perm Horner will bat fourth. Chris Chambliss, the lefty, will go fifth. Rufiano Linares bats sixth. Bruce Benedict, the catcher, bats seventh. Rafael Ramirez will go eighth. And Pascual Perez, who threw 26 pitches, will bat ninth. Defensively for Los Angeles, Dusty Baker is a 9-5 in left. Kenny Landro a 5-3 in center. And Guerrero is a 4-8 in right. So Guerrero has the best arm. Baker has the best range. Ron Cey's a 6 at third. Mark Belanger in for Bill Russell, a 5 at short. Steve Sachs a 6 at second. Steve Garvey being shy at first. And Mike Scioscia 7-5 behind the plate. Washington at 268, 15 home runs and 45 RBI. Oh, okay. Todd, do your laundry, damn it. Your boxers won't wash themselves. Pitch to Washington is a fly ball to right. Guerrero goes away back there, and it's gone. So Washington leads it off with a solo shot to deep right field, and the Braves take advantage of the Dodgers' miscues and lead 1-0. So here's the pitch to Washington, and Guerrero, that got caught in the wind, and Chief Nakahoma liking that one. So 1-0 Braves here in the bottom of the first. For Glenn Hubbard at .290, 7 homers and 42 RBI. Only the 5th home run allowed this year by Fernando. Here's the pitch. Hubbard lines out one to Say for the out. And that'll bring up Dale Murphy. .275, 25 homers, and 77 RBI. A very good year for Murph. Fernando deals, and there's a base hit into right center. Murph will round first and hold. And that will bring up Bob Horner at .270, 25 homers and 67 RBI. It's his first start of the season. He pitched in relief on July 27th. Okay, so I probably should check that. Took a 3-0 loss in the actual game. Complete game by Fernando. I don't have a best Skip Carey voice. I could do my Chip Carey impression, but that probably will get me thrown off for being fisted. Pitch to Horner is a liner in the center field, and Murphy will hold at second. So the Braves have Fernando's number early. 3 hits aside. Here's Chambliss, Chris at .280, 10 homers and 43 RBI. Valenzuela delivers, fly ball to left field. Baker into foul territory makes the catch. Murphy will hold, as Baker actually had to reach into the stands to make the catch. So 2 out for Rufiano Linares at .314. 1 homer and 23 RBI. I agree, Todd. I think that Dale Murphy could still run for mayor of Atlanta and win. Pitch to Linares is a ground ball to Garvey. Flips it over to Fernando, and that will retire the side. So a run on 3 hits for Atlanta, no errors. After 1, it's the Braves 1, the Dodgers nothing. And so that was a 20-pitch effort for Fernando. And Perez takes the hill. We'll check. Yeah, he made 5 relief appearances on the year, but has not made one in the replay. He became available on July 27th. So Mike Scioscia at .277, 4 homers and 32 RBI. 1-0 Braves, top the second. Perez delivers, and there's a ground ball to Hubbard, who throws to Perez covering. Chambliss and Hubbard both went for the ball. Hubbard came up with it and threw to first. So, by the way, this is on the new patch for the baseball game. It came out earlier this week, and that's a play I've never seen before. So if you're scoring this one, and by God, why would you? It may be good for you at home, but, you know, sometimes just too much of a good thing. That's the first time I've ever seen a 4-1 on a ground ball. Here's Mark Belanger at .257 with an RBI. Perez delivers, and there's a slapper down to Chambliss that ate him up. And so Chambliss goes to get it. It went under his glove, and Belanger's on with an error. E3. And here's Fernando at .143 with 4 RBI. And Chambliss and Horner come in to play the bunt. Perez delivers, and he drops one down. Benedict's only play is to Hubbard covering. Goes on the sheet as a sac bunt, 2-4. 2 out here in the top of the second. So 9 batters in. Perez at 39 pitches. An inning and 2/3. 3 hits and a walk. Steve Sack singled his first time up. Yeah. And Murphy is to Atlanta what Ripken is to Baltimore for sure. And Perez certainly was a hothead. Yep. The baseball game and the football game, by the way, that have updates. I got them both last night. Hopefully with the football game. Yeah, you go to the website to the DK Sports website and service updates. and you just install it right into the folder where your game is installed, not into the data folder. Okay? So here's Sachs. He singled his first time up. Belanger on second, 2 out. 1-0 Atlanta. Perez delivers, and Sachs sends that one to Chambliss. Chris has it on the bounder and grabs it to first himself to retire the side. No runs, no hit in the air, didn't hurt. After an inning and a half, Atlanta 1, Los Angeles 0. Ugh. I found a straw wrapper in my iced tea. Nummy, nummy, nummy. Play-by-play adjustments, some chalkboard things. I think that's why we saw that 4-1 play to the baseball game. And hopefully in the football one, we can take care of the excessive amount of blocked kicks. Because in the 4 football games I've played in the new version, I've had a blocked kick every game. That's a little too often. Bruce Benedict doesn't come up too often. He's at 304, 7 homers, and 41 RBI. Fernando delivers, and there's a fly ball to left center. Landro is there. And he makes a fantastic spiraling catch on the grass and on the track for the out. A web gem from Kenny Landro, and there's 1 out for Rafael Ramirez. At 242, 10 homers and 38 RBI. Must have been the last straw. Yeah, I don't know what it was. The baseball game is very stable. But the football game, anytime the new version comes out, a minor patch here or there. That was really the only thing I've noticed with the football game that needed to be tweaked was the block kicks. Pitch to Ramirez is a fly ball in the left field. Baker comes in, makes the catch for the second out. And now I'll bring up Pascual Perez on the real year. He doesn't have an at-bat in the replays at 167 with 6 strikeouts. 3 for 18, if you're wondering. Fernando deals, and he got him. So just below the belt on a 1-2 changeup, and that will retire the side. No runs, no hits, no errors. After 2, the Braves 1. The Dodgers 0. DJ rooting for the Dodgers this morning as he had some breakfast. After the game, TBS invites you to watch the baseball bunch. I can't really do a skip carry. With your host, Johnny Bench. The San Diego Chicken will teach you how to make veal parmesan for Tommy Lasorda, so Tommy can chase and beat up the Philly fanatic. Landro's 0 for 1. Perez delivers, and there's a little bunt. Benedict picks it up over to Hubbard. Landro's got speed, and Landro's out. So 1 out for Baker, who singled his first time up. And Perez, after that terrible first inning, although the scoreboard has a bagel on it, he survived it. That's about the nicest thing you can say. Pitch to Baker. And there's a line drive that drops in front of Murphy in center field, and so Baker's on with a single. So it's now 86 degrees. The winds have settled down to 10 at the right center, so it is a launching pad in effect today. And there's still a light rain to keep the 30,000 or so here at Fulton County kind of cool. Guerrero singled his first time up. Perez delivers, and Pete sends that one into left. That goes over to Linares. That's off the wall. Baker will round third. The throw is cut off to hold Guerrero to a double, and the Dodgers have tied the game at 1. So Guerrero just kind of slammed out one to left, and Linares, there wasn't anything he could do. Brings up Ron Say, who walked his first time up. Perez's first walk of the year. 1-1, top the third, 1 out. Pitch to Say is a little liner in the center field. Murphy's there. Throws to second, and Guerrero is back in time. Guerrero thought that was better hit off the bat and started to trot to third, but he watched Murph, and Murph made it, and Guerrero had to scamper back. Brings up Garvey with 2 out. Steve is 0 for 1. There you go. I think he did retire. Let's see. They were complaining when the Facebook game was over, throwing complete passes. I don't know. I haven't done a season replay with that yet. And, yep. And Dave Demos. We need John Butcher pitching to Dusty Baker at Candlestick Park. You can figure that pun out for yourself. 2 out. Here's the pitch to Garvey. Guerrero goes. Fly ball to right. Washington comes in, makes the catch. But the Dodgers get a run on 2 hits and no errors. 2.5 in the books here in Atlanta. The Dodgers won, the Braves won. And so through 9 batters, Fernando Valenzuela has only thrown 33 pitches in 2 innings. 3 hits, a run. It was earned, the homer by Washington to start the game, and Fernando only has the 1 strikeout. So Claudel Washington started this game with a home run. Time up number 2, he draws ball 4. So the 3-1 was high, and Washington's on first for Hubbard, who's 0 for 1. He deals, and Hubbard slaps this one into left center field. Washington will hold at second. You don't want to make that first down on the Bates pass. And that brings up Dale Murphy, who singled his first time up. Fernando kind of wilting a bit with the heat here and the humidity. I mean, it gets warm in Southern California, but not like it does in Atlanta. Washington on second, Hubbard on first for Murph. He singled his first time up, and he sends this one to Say. His only play is to first. He's got to hurry, and Murphy beat it out. And so Murphy was gone from the crack of the bat, and the Braves have him loaded for Bob Horner, who also singled his first time up. And so Fernando now in a spot of bother here in the bottom of the 3rd. Both teams have a run on 5 hits. The Braves have an error. Fernando delivers. Ball 4. He walked home Washington. So Horner takes first, and it's 2-1 Atlanta. Chris Chambliss is 0 for 1. And so nobody out, and the bases remain full of Atlanteans. Chambliss struck him out. He got him on an 0-2 pitch at the belt. And that's a second strikeout for Fernando. Brings up Rufiano Linares. 1 out. And now the Dodgers would take a double play gladly. Fernando deals. Ball 4. He walked home another run. So Hubbard scores. That's the second run scored on a walk by the Braves this inning. It's 3-1. 3rd walk for Fernando. It's Bruce Benedict at the plate. The catcher's 0 for 1. Here's the pitch. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Fernando throws home, and they got him. So they got Murphy going home. Put it on the card as a 1-2 on the fielder's choice. Benedict is safe at first, but the Braves still lead it 3-1. Rafael Ramirez is 0 for 1, so a productive inning for Atlanta. They've got 2 on the board so far. Fernando's pitch, Ramirez popped up left side, Say in the foul territory, and nope. Someone in from Marietta made that one. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Rafael Ramirez. Pitch from Valenzuela. Fly ball to right. Guerrero in the foul territory makes the catch to retire the side. Although the Braves leave him loaded, they do put 2 on the board on 2 hits and no errors. After 3, it's the Braves 3, the Dodgers 1. And that'll give Perez some confidence. He'll face Socia, Belanger, and Valenzuela here in the 4th. Mike is 0 for 1, and Perez has been given a 2-run lead. Pitch to Socia. Right back to Perez. Over to Chambliss, 1 out. His old mother Hubbard lived in his shoe. That's for sure. Did she get tongue-tied? Uh-oh, and now Perez is hurt. And so we got the big out, and then he got hurt. And so he's gone. And so now we got to figure out who's going to throw. And it's going to be, oh boy. Steve Bedrosian. He's thrown the last 2 nights. He is 5-5 on the year with 2 saves. And a not healthy ERA of 4.56. This is his 43rd appearance, his 40th out of the pen. And so he pitched both ends of the doubleheader last night. He got a strikeout in game 1. That was his only out. And then in the nightcap, he allowed 2 runs on a hit and 3 walks in an inning. So 5-5 with 2 saves, an ERA of 4.56. 73 innings, 67 hits, 5 home runs, 41 runs, 37 earned. He has walked 40 and struck out 62. We don't know what the injury is to Perez, and now Bedrosian is going to be asked to get some work done. Belanger's 0 for 1. He's got Belanger and Valenzuela. That's a pretty easy way to start. Pitch from Bedrosian struck him out. So an 0-2 pitch outside on the black. That's not for Pascual Perez how you want your season debut to go. 3 in the 3rd innings. And will not get the win because he didn't go 5. Fernando sack bunted his first time up. Bedrosian delivers, struck him out. A 1-2 fastball inside on the black. And the Braves get the Dodgers in order here. 3.5 in the books. Atlanta 3. Los Angeles 1. So Steve Bedrosian, who wasn't expecting to play today after going 2 games last night, 1 for 5 on the year. Has an RBI, a strikeout, and a single. Fernando delivers, and Bedrosian sits down. And 1-2 curveball swung on and missed. So through 18 batters, Fernando threw 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits. The home run to Washington, who's up. Walked 3 and struck out 3. So Fernando more than halfway through his allotted pitches. Now the Dodgers would like him to settle down. Claudio Washington has scored twice, walked once, and homered. 1 for 1. The pitch. And that's a base hit left side. That gets in front of Baker, and Washington's on again. So Ron Say should have got it, and he didn't. And that'll bring up Hubbard, who's 1 for 2. He has a single and a run scored. Valenzuela delivers, and Hubbard hits this one in the right field. Guerrero on a hop, Washington on to 3rd. And this is exactly what Atlanta needed. They needed to get hot and stay hot. If you're going to get back in the race, there's only one. You got to beat the team in front of you. And for the Braves, that's the Dodgers. Here's Murph. Dale is 2 for 2. He singled twice. Runners in the corners, 1 out. Pitch from Fernando is a ground ball to Sachs. Might be 2. Belanger for 1, and Hubbard broke it up. No throw, a rolling slide makes it 4-1 Atlanta. So Murphy on first, Horner 1 for 1. He has his 68th RBI and a walk on a single. How you doing, Kenny Castro? And yep, Bedrosian's nickname was Bedrock. Thank you, sir. Pitch to Horner. A ground ball to Belanger. A long throw over to Garvey. Belanger got a late jump on it, and Horner beat it out. So everyone just a bit tired from the doubleheader on Friday. And Atlanta's making them pay. Here's Chambliss. Chris is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Fernando deals, and there's a ground ball to Say. This one's trouble. Long throw across the diamond, and Chambliss is out by an eyelash. Ho ho ho! Joe Torre turns to say anything, and Horner says don't, and Chambliss says don't. 1 run on 3 hits and no errors. After 4, it's Atlanta 4, Los Angeles 1. And so Bedrosian, through 8 pitches after the Pascual Perez injury, struck out both the batters he faced. Here's Steve Sachs. As we start the top of the 5th, Steve is 1 for 2. Clinton Parks, how are you? The shenanigans is here. Pitch to Sachs as a ground ball at Chambliss. Easy play. Takes it to first himself for the out. So here's Kenny Landreau. Kenny's 0 for 2. Bedrosian from the wind, and there's a ground ball to Hubbard at second, over to Chambliss, and the Braves are finally going to get some easy innings. So 2 out for Baker. Dusty has singled twice and scored once. The lone run for the Dodgers came in the third. Braves 4-1. Bedrosian and Valenzuela, the pitchers of record. Bedrock deals, and Baker hits this one in the left field for a single. So a 2-out single brings up Pedro Guerrero. Has a single and a double himself, and RBI number 79. No, Sachs never played for the Braves. If this was the Yankees, he would have. Bedrosian delivers, struck him out. So 2-2 cutter on the inside corner, got Guerrero, and Bedrosian has 3 strikeouts in relief. Halfway home. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. It's Atlanta 4, Los Angeles 1. And let's take a look at the in-game box score. We'll start with the pitchers. So Perez was yanked because he got hurt. 3 1/3 innings, 5 hits, a run. It was earned. He walked 1 in his season debut and threw 54 pitches. Bedrosian, Joe Torre needs to get all 70 of those pitches out of him, and he's done a good job. He's got an inning and 2/3. And Fernando pitching more like late 80s Fernando, but still in the game, down 4-1. And the Dodgers, Dusty Baker is 3 for 3, ran themselves out of trouble in the first. So Linares, Benedict, and Ramirez for the Braves here in the 5th. Rufiano is 0 for 1. He was walked home a run when Fernando lost control in the 3rd. That was his 24th RBI of the year. Fernando deals, and there's a one right back to Fernando that he can only get a glove on it. He slapped it down and couldn't find the handle. And so Linares is on with an error. And now both teams have one. Benedict is 0 for 2. Hit and run is on, and there's a base hit in the left center field. Linares goes to 3rd. Benedict is on first. And the Braves have Fernando on the ropes here again in the 5th. Ramirez is 0 for 2. He's sitting on a 10-game hitting streak. Linares on 3rd. Benedict on 1st. In a game the Braves must win, they lead 4-1. Fernando and Socha talk about the weather. It's still raining. Pitch to Ramirez is a little looper that's going to drop down behind Sachs. Linares will score. Benedict goes to 3rd. Sachs should have had that. That was just a pop-up, and Sachs just couldn't time it right. And now it's 5-1, and Fernando just kind of kicks the mud in disgust. Here's Bedrosian. Runners on 1st and 3rd, nobody out. Drops one down. Valenzuela will go for the out at first. Sachs is there. Bedrosian's retired. Benedict does not score. So 1 out and runners on 2nd and 3rd for Claudel Washington. So Fernando, through 27 batters, has thrown 4 1/3 innings. 10 hits, 5 runs, 4 earned. The home run to Washington to start the game. 3 walks and 3 strikeouts. Washington has reached all 3 times and scored thrice. 5-1 Atlanta here in the bottom of the 5th, 1 out. Fernando deals, and Washington walks. And that brings up Glenn Hubbard, who does have a grand slam on the year. Today he's 2 for 3. He has singled twice and scored once. Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, Pascual Perez is no longer with us. He died in a robbery attempt in 2012. Fernando delivers, and Hubbard skies this one to center. Landro will tag it down. Benedict will leave 3rd. The throw goes in the infield, and it's 6-1 Atlanta. Brings up Murph, who's 2 for 3, driven in a run, single twice. So runners on 1st and 2nd, 2 out. Fernando delivers, and Murphy fouls that one behind the plate, and the count goes to 2-2. In this 82 season, the Braves removed the TP for Nakahoma to add additional seating, and then the Braves then lost 19-21, so the TP was put back in. Yep. You don't mess with Chief Nakahoma, that's for sure. Fernando deals, and that gets away from Socha. Ramirez goes to third, Washington to second. And now you got first base open on the wild pitch. So everything that could go wrong for the Dodgers pretty much has. Fernando delivers ball 4, and so Mr. Sports Utah time machine. So Bob Horner 2 for 2. He singled twice, scored or walked once, and driven in a run. 6-1 Atlanta. And Fernando looking at loss number 6 square in the face. He deals, and Horner sends this one into right. Guerrero is there, and that will retire the side. The Braves put 2 more on the board on 2 hits and 1 error. After 5, Atlanta 6, Los Angeles 1. You were closer now, Fernando. Thanks for singing, Clinton. Yes, I guess that would make the Braves Indian givers. So it'll be Ronnie Say, Steve Garvey, and Mike Socha to face Bedrosian here in the 6th. Pascual Perez had to start, left because of an injury. Bedrosian, who was tired, gets the long call today. Say is 0 for 1 with a walk. Bedrosian delivers, and that's right back to Steve over to Chambliss, and there's 1 away. Here's Garvey. Steve is 0 for 2. Bedrosian winds and deals, and there's a ground ball to Ramirez over to Chambliss, and there's 2 away. So Atlanta will take this for the next 10 outs. No questions asked. Here's Mike Socha. He's 0 for 2. Bedrock delivers right down to Ramirez at short, and the side goes down in order on 13 pitches. No runs, no hits, no errors. 5.5 in the books. It's Atlanta 6 and Los Angeles 1. And that reminds me, as Clinton brings it up, if you're playing your shooter games and kill things on the road, do a granny and make your vittles. That public service announcement, courtesy of the Beverly Hillbillies, which used to be seen on TBS, which would have been right after this game and Georgia Championship Wrestling. There's Chris Chambliss. Chris is 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Fernando out to start the 6th. Pop up, right side, sacks on the outfield. Makes the catch, 1 out. Garber? Garber might come in, but I'm going to ride the bedrock as long as I can. I guess that'd be like riding a Rock Island, wouldn't it? Linares has an RBI and a run scored. He walked home a run. He's 0 for 2. Black gold that is oil, that's for sure. Pitch from Fernando, and that's a ground ball to Sachs over to Garvey, 2 away. So Fernando, now that the game is pretty much over, finally gets almost an easy inning. Here's Bruce Benedict. He's 1 for 3 with a run scored. Here's the pitch. Benedict grounds 1 to Say over to Garvey, and the Braves go down in order. After 6, it's Atlanta 6, Los Angeles 1, and Bedrosian coming out for his 3rd inning of work. It'll be Belanger, my guess is a pinch hitter, because Fernando's at 138 pitches, and then Sachs. So Belanger is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Duke the dog, really? That's what you loved? It wasn't Daisy? Or Ellie Mae, that was her name. That's what Velma Fred said to Fred. Pitch to Belanger is a ground ball to Hubbard over to Chambliss at first for the out. So let's see what they do with Fernando. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Rick Monday will bat. 6-1 Braves here in the 7th. Monday is at 293. 6 homers and 23 RBI. Bedrosian's pitch is flown into left field. Linares goes back, makes the catch for the 2nd out. Brings up Steve Sachs. Steve is 1 for 3. He has singled. And the Dodgers got off to a promising start, couldn't cash in at the Bank of Beverly Hills, and the Braves have kind of rolled with it since, 6-1. Bedrosian's pitch, ground ball to first. Chambliss flips it to Bedrock covering, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors. Dave Stewart comes in to pitch for the Dodgers. Stretch time here in Atlanta, 89. The wind's blowing out to right at 16 and the light rain. It's Atlanta 6. Los Angeles 1. And a reminder, maybe Wilma should have called Fred. Yeah, maybe. So just a reminder. Oh, that one. Why was I thinking Scooby-Doo? So a reminder. Did I not say that? Yeah, you're looking at a blank screen. That won't help me at all, will it? Never mind. I forgot to save the Patreon. Oopsie. I got to do that again. Yeah, if you're interested in helping sponsor this channel, go to my Patreon page at patreon.com/retrosportsnetwork and take a look at some options you might have. You want any game and any sport on the Action PC line ever? Well, go to my Patreon page to find out how you can do it. And today's thank yous go to Dale Lonsdale and Bobby Catalano, who were the first to be patrons for me, and I do appreciate all of you that have come forward. All right, so you can't see it because I forgot to leave it. Here's Rafael Ramirez. So he'll face Dave Stewart. Dave is 4-5 on the year with 2 saves and an ERA of 4.01. So this will be Dave's 26th appearance on the year. 14th out of the pen. He started a few days ago against San Francisco. 6 innings, 10 hits, 5 runs, only 2 earned. That's how you get a win. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 6. So on the year, he only has 2 more starts. So the rest of his work will come out of the pen. 94 in the 3rd innings, 101 hits, 10 homers, 50 runs, 42 earned, 19 walks, 65 strikeouts, and he got the win to go to 4-5. Ramirez 1 for 3. He has a single and an RBI. Skip had too much to drink. I should colorize that black screen. You know, I had a nice little ad up there with the web address and all that. Had it mapped right to a button, and I went to do the football game last night and forgot to save it. That's how the cookie crumbles. Pitch to Ramirez is popped up behind the plate. Socha to the screen. And some kid from downtown Hotlanta got that one. 2-2 the count. Pitch to Ramirez, and there's a high fly ball to left. It's gone. Ramirez just slapped that one silly, and Dusty Baker just turned and watched it go. Nothing he could do about that. And for Rafael Ramirez, that's his 11th of the year. Not what you'd expect now, would it? That ball was crushed. So that brings up Steve Bedrosian. He struck out his first time up. And Joe Torre says, look, you got 25 pitches. I think you can get 6 outs. Save this pen. Stewart deals. Ground ball to Say. Over to Garvey. Bedrosian has got on a bike, and they just barely got him. That was a slow roller on the wet grass, and Bedrosian nearly beat it out. Steve Stewart was everywhere. But, you know, when you have a bunch of people that play the 80s, it's kind of like Martha Quinn. And she's just going to be everywhere. Stay away from Nina Blackwood, though. Claudell Washington is 2 for 2 with a 16th homer of the year. He squawked twice and scored 3 times. Stewart delivers, and he's going to reach again. That one is a little loop shot into left center. And Washington is 3 for 3. They've yet to retire him today. 7-1 Atlanta, bottom of the 7th, 1 out. Glenn Hubbard, 2 for 3. Singled twice, scored once, and drove in a run. Stewart's pitch. And there's a base hit left side, past Belanger. And the Braves are showing this national internet audience they're not done yet. So, presuming they win this game, and let's face it, when you're a dodo like me, you can almost make anything happen when you don't want it to. The lead would be 10.5 if the Braves hold on. Murphy's 2 for 3. Single twice, drove in a run and walked. Runners on first and second, one out. Stewart deals, struck him out. A 2-2 on the outside corner, 2 away for Horner, who was 2 for 3 with an RBI, a single twice and walked. 13 hits, yep. Braves have a good offense. But if they're going to actually make this a race, they got to win this one. They got to win the Sunday game, which you won't see. And they just got to keep winning. This is game 104 for the Dodgers. They only have 58 left. Or 57 left. Horner, fly ball into center field. Back goes Landreau. Makes the catch to retire the side. A run on 3 hits and no errors. After 7, Atlanta 7, Washington 1. Yep, that seems to be a lot of people's sweet spot here. So Landreau, Baker, and Guerrero. Kenny's 0 for 3. And Bedrosian has given Joe Torre his money worth today. Ball 4. So we'll see how long the leash is now. Here's Baker. Dusty is 3 for 3 with a run scored. He has singled 3 times and scored the lone run in the game for Los Angeles in the 3rd. From the stretch, ground ball foul, third base side, and the count is full. So Bedrosian coming in for the injured Pascual Perez. Pitched both ends of the doubleheader Friday night, and now is in here in long relief on a Saturday afternoon. Here's the pitch. Ball 4. Torre will give him one more. Double play gets him out of it. Here's Pedro Guerrero. 2 for 3. Single, a double, a strikeout, and RBI number 79. So Bedrosian deals. Fly ball to left. Linares. 1 out. Landreau goes back. Tags goes to 3rd. He's in there. So 1st and 3rd, 1 out for Say. The Penguin is 0 for 2 with a walk. Benedict goes out to talk to Bedrosian. Garber warming in the pen. Say is out. He swung on and missed an 0-2 fastball, and that's a 4th strikeout for Bedrosian. So here's Garvey. He's 0 for 3. The Dodgers had something going here, but right now, with 2 out, it's nearly bagel time. Bedrosian delivers. Garvey flies this one into center. Murphy makes the catch to retire the side. So the walks don't hurt. No runs, no hits, no errors. 7.5 in the books. Atlanta 7, Los Angeles 1. Burgess Meredith is here. So it'll be Chambliss, Linares, and Benedict for the Braves here in the bottom of the 8th. A run on 6 hits for the Dodgers, an error, and 8 left on. The Braves, this one really should just be like 10 or 11 to 1. 7 runs, 13 hits, an error for Atlanta, and they've stranded 12. Chris Chambliss is 0 for 4. He is the only... No, that's not true. He has a strikeout. I think he's the only starter not to reach. Here's the pitch from Stewart. Ground ball to Belanger. Over to Garvey for the out. 1 away for Linares. Walked, scored, drove in a run. He's 0 for 3. Stewart deals, and there's a ground ball to Garvey. Flips it over to Stewart covering. 2 away. So Bruce Benedict, 1 for 4 with a run scored. Hopes to be the last Atlanta batter of the day. Because if he's not, well, he could reach. But if he's not, that means that we had the Red Fox big one here in the top of the 9th. Pitch to Benedict, and there's a base hit in the right center. Set that one up, and I got the jinx. So a single for Bruce. And that brings up Rafael Ramirez. He only hit 10 homers all year. Has 11 on the replay. 2 for 4. Hit a 2-run shot earlier. Stewart deals, and Raphael hits this one in the right. Guerrero's there, and that will retire the side. So Mike Scioscia, Belanger, and a pinch hitter for the Dodgers. After 4 2/3 innings, that'll do for Steve Bedrosian, and we're going to go without Herboski, who's on 2 days rest. Herboski is 0-2 with 10 saves. He has an ERA of 4.24. And with the Braves bullpen tattered after Bedrosian's long work in yesterday or last night's doubleheader, Herboski just get an inning in and we can go home. So as I said, 0-2 with 10 saves, a 4.24 ERA. This is relief appearance 34 for Al. He only has a month to go on his year. He pitched Thursday against the Padres. He went 3 times in that series. His last outing, an inning, allowed a hit and a strikeout. So 40 in the 3rd innings, 42 hits, 3 homers, 20 runs in total, 19 earnings, walked 17, and struck out 19. Scioscia, we'll see, and a pinch hitter. Mike is 0 for 3. Herboski delivers a ground ball to Ramirez over to Chambliss, 1 out. How you doing, Bobby Catalano? And so here's Belanger. Let's see what the Dodgers do with him. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Going to stay in the game. Ground ball to Hubbard over to Chambliss, 2 out. And so the Braves are on the verge of doing what they needed to do. Here's a pinch hitter, I'm sure, for Stewart. Mike Marshall, who's at 217 on the year, 2 homers and 3 RBI. Reminder, Detroit and Toronto tomorrow at noon to finish the week and July right here on Retro Sports Network. And Sunday, that 70s tournament begins from Riverfront Stadium as the 75 Reds host the 73 New York Mets. Pitch to Marshall is a fly ball in the left. Linares will have it. Braves win! Braves win! Braves win! Imagine that as their ringtone. Atlanta wins this one 7-1. And so you're batting here, you gotta go with Claudell Washington. He went 3 for 3. He scored 3 times. He walked twice. They couldn't retire him. Chris Chambliss left 7 runners on base. Oofy, oofy, oofy. So a nice and steady effort from Atlanta in the game that they needed, and now the margin is 10.5 games. So Steve Bedrosian goes 4 2/3 innings for the win. He's now 6 and 5. He walked 2 and allowed a hit and struck out 4, and Herboski got a clean 9th. Stewart just kind of in as a mop-up. Fernando falls to 16 and 6, and so Steve Bedrosian is our MVP. Although you could give it to Claudell Washington too. All right, oops. That's what you were looking at. This is the one I want. Okay, no more. Can't play the rest of the day because the other game tomorrow is the end of Saturday. So the Tigers and the Blue Jays tomorrow at noon to finish off the week. And the Braves, well, you know what? They took advantage of the chance they had. The Dodgers are still well in the driver's seat. But the Braves have taken 2 out of 3. If they win the Sunday game, it's under 10 games. So again, thank you so much for watching this one. I do appreciate it. And so tomorrow, as I said, Detroit and Toronto at noon. Yep, it's about 1 o'clock in the East. So until then, I'm Ron Juckett for Retro Sports Network. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and then bell, and it'll tell you when I'm going live. And so thank you so much again. The final score from Fulton County Stadium, Atlanta 7, Los Angeles 1. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Have a good day.